Before today's episode, I wish to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land, the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nations, and recognise their continued connection to the beautiful land and sea. I'd also like to pay my respects to the elders past, present and emerging, and I extend this acknowledgement to the traditional owners of the land my listeners are on. Welcome to Ritual the Podcast, your cottage in the woods. A sacred space for the witches, the healers, the magical folk to meet and speak of wisdom, witchery, and old world magic, where people come to learn, to hear stories, to share secrets, and to be free to be their true selves. Welcome to Ritual.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Ritual. My name is Amy Harvey and I am joined by the amazing Patrick Harvey today.
Hello, I am the amazing Patrick Harvey.
Now, when Patty's here, it usually means one of two things. Either we're telling stories or it's another turn of the wheel, which it is.
It is.
It's very exciting.
What is it, Amy?
It's Beltane.
It sure is.
It's Beltane.
It sure is.
First of all, how are you, Patty?
I am okay. I'm okay. I'm good. I'm fairly stressed at the minute with a lot of things going on, but I am trying my best.
That's good.
I am trying my best, and I am very excited about the upcoming birth of our new little one.
I know, it's getting so close.
Actually keeping me excited.
I'm 30 weeks when you listen to this, and my babies like to come early, so who knows how long really.
I think first couple of weeks of December.
Yeah.
Is what we're looking at.
The week before Christmas, I reckon.
Yeah. So, you think the week before Christmas? So that's how I'm going. I am good. I am happy. I am happy. I'm always happy. I am stressed.
On the inside.
But I am yeah. You know.
Ow,
but what about
ow. Oh, I had to get my whooping cough injection today, and you know when it's like when you have sunburn and people keep touching it, except it's Patty. Patty keeps touching my arm.
I'm just trying to love you.
It's so sore.
I'm just trying to love you.
It's fine. Just stop. I have two arms. Thank you.
How you going, Amy?
I'm good. I am tired today. Yesterday was a bit stressful. As some of you may have seen. Our house was underwater. Our house wasn't underwater. Our front yard and car.
Our car looked like it was going to get washed away.
In a crazy flood.
Yeah. So we got a creek running under the driveway, and there's probably about a drop of I'd say about 7 feet from, say, ground level driveway down to the rocks at the bottom of the creek. And the creek was about a foot up from ground level, and it was rushing. You couldn't see the street.
No.
The front garden on our left.
It was like we lived in a lake.
Way down, and it was filled
insane.
with water, and the creek had obviously just burst its banks, and it was coming through our driveway, over the top of our driveway. Through the next door. It broke their old bridge. It broke a lot of their plumbing.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
It took our wheelie bins, and then it went through
our bins.
Yeah. And then it obviously took out a lot of vegetation and a lot of plants and God knows how many animals.
I know. That's what makes me feel sick is all the animals. Because people were posting all their little doggies that had run away, and I was like, oh, I hope they're okay.
Yeah, it's pretty intense. And then there's people that have obviously lost houses and whatnot.
Yeah, some people's houses are underwater.
And it literally happened just within...
I was in Pilates and it was blue sky. When I came out, it was like black sky. And within 3 minutes of me leaving and nearly being at home, it was like I couldn't see the road.
Heavy rain.
See. and the road was already starting to flood.
And then about 40 minutes after that is when chaos broke out. So it was very fast moving. I think they said it was...
I'm a bit mentally hungover from that, but also I'm annoyed because the internet is so bad, and when you do podcasting, it is not ideal because I'm meant to be talking with people and I can't do it.
No.
So I'm also happy on the inside.
And as it stands right now, we're recording this onto my computer, and in the 4 minutes we've been going, it's taken up 5 gig.
Is that a lot? I don't know gig talk.
That's a lot.
Well, we'll talk quick.
Let's.
I know.
I don't know what's going to happen at the other end of this.
I know. It's probably going to upload in about 4 weeks. So... happy.
Well, put it this way, every YouTube video is around about 2.5 gig total, and that's usually for an hour and a half. And we've done 5 something gig because it's recording straight onto the computer. It's not in Zoom.
Oh my god. Anyway, we're not going to be negative. We're being a little bit negative.
No, I'm not. Are we?
Maybe.
Are we?
I don't know. I hope not.
I don't think we're being negative.
Now, can
Are
you
we
pass me my
being
water? Oh no, I can get it. That's ice water for everyone who's asking.
Oh, and I have a whiskey.
As per, you're back on the whiskies.
It's been a stressful.
It's been a week.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's Beltane. I'm excited. Beltane's one of my faves.
Yeah.
Should we talk about it?
I think we should talk about it.
We should?
I think we should.
Okay. Here we go. So, Beltane. The wheel has turned and the beautiful sabbat of Beltane has arrived. So Beltane is celebrated in the southern hemisphere, typically on the 31st to the 1st of November. Now we celebrate on the 1st of November because the 31st of October is Halloween. And I love Halloween and I wasn't willing to give that up. But you can still do it on the 1st. And I feel like Beltane and what it represents with the new life aspect and new growth and all of that, it feels better to be doing it on the 1st of a month rather than the last day of a month.
Yeah.
So it kind of just all fits better for me. So yes, we celebrate it here, November 1st. Up north, in the north, they celebrate on May 1st.
Right.
So they'll be going into Samhain right now. So blessed Samhain to our northern friends.
Our northern hemisphere.
Who October 31st feels better for Samhain.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
And so actually the Druids, they used to determine Beltane by looking at the stars. So I think theirs would kind of differ a little bit. I'm not exactly sure what they looked at. I just know that that's how they determined when Beltane was.
Yeah, right.
Yes. So Beltane is the last of our spring festivals. So we are now in between spring equinox and summer solstice. So Beltane is in the middle for that. And so that means that for all of us, both people, plants, and animals, we are all preparing for the summer. Yay!
Yay!
So we are only a month away from the warmth of the summer sun. So Beltane is a sabbat that celebrates the potency of the earth, the height of spring energy, and the fertility that surrounds us all around. So fertility is a big theme of Beltane, which we'll get into in a little bit. So during this time, we celebrate love, fertility, coming together to create new life. And so the goddess is in her maiden phase. So she's standing strong in beauty and feminine energy. And the young oak god also can be the green man. He falls in love with her and they come together and create a child, which is also him.
He turns from son to lover.
To son.
To
father
dead,
and son.
To reborn to son.
It's very weird.
Very weird.
Just roll with it. And so this is why fertility and sexuality are such a strong theme of Beltane. So people will typically do hand fasting ceremonies, sex magic, and dancing around the maypole to attract a new partner around this time.
We should get a maypole.
Do you need a new partner?
No, for our house. For me and you.
Okay. So the earth around us is also bountiful with magic. And
what I'll do is I'll break up with you. I'll dance around it. You can be like, hello. And I'll be like, wow. And then we'll get back together.
We will be hand fasted once more.
Once more.
So the earth is bountiful with magic and growth, and therefore all the elemental forces around us are also at their peak as well during this time. So just like at Samhain, the veil around us is thin. Now usually when you think of that, you think of like ancestors, and I would say that Samhain is probably the time when like ancestors and spirits come forward more, because typically that's a time of death and a celebration of that, where I feel like during this time it's more elemental energy that comes through. I'll get into that again a little bit later on.
Okay.
So now is a time when our intuition will be picking up messages as well. So as I said, the veil is thin, so your psychic brain will be like pinging left, right, and center. But it's also a time for you to connect with your wild witch blood. So that's like really getting outside in the elements, in nature, embracing just the fact that we can stand out in the earth. We kind of went over this when we were talking about Astara, but like grounding, getting in the dirt, like wild witch style.
Screaming, I imagine.
You can scream.
You
can scream.
Running through a forest naked.
And also doing things like connecting with trees and like learning to meditate with trees, and like really connecting in with the energy that's around you. Whether like if you have a backyard, maybe it's like going out and kind of like getting a sense of what is out there and who is out there. Like we've got huge trees in our backyard, and so it would be like, you know, we have this huge pine tree, and it's like kind of like getting a sense of like who they are, who's inside them. Is it like more of a dryad spirit? Is it like a, you know, whatever, like what are you picking up, and seeing if they have messages for you. So that's like one way that you can really start to connect in, even if you just go to a forest, if you don't have a backyard, or the ocean or whatever.
Or just a tree, like a plant.
Exactly, anything. It's also going outside and soaking in the moon. That's also part of nature, obviously. But like if you're more of a lunar kind of witch, rather than just like observing the moon from inside, maybe go outside, sit in the earth, look up at the moon, and like really soak in the magic that is coming from that. But basically it's just a time to really connect with nature, be one with nature. So when I was looking up Beltane, it's a big one. There's like stuff all over the world for Beltane in all different cultures, especially, and I would especially hate when people say especially.
I don't, you know, I've got a thing against when people say, can I get a couple of espressos?
Who says that?
Mate, people call cafes espresso, and it's like, are you trying to say it's an espresso quick, or do you actually think that
it's an expressional espresso?
Or do you think it's actually called an espresso as opposed to an espresso?
There's so many words that people say that annoy me, and I'm trying to think of at least one, and I can't. People say conscientious in a weird way, but now I can't think.
Conscientious?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is going to open a can of worms.
No, I know, but I'm ready to get stuck in.
I can't think of any.
No.
Damn you, pregnancy brain.
No, okay. Hold on a minute.
When people say,
like when you orientate something, they say orient. I'm like,
I don't know what that means. Like, I have never heard someone say that.
Yeah, people, instead of saying like orientate something, when you sort of are orientating, people say orient, like as in Asia, like the Orient.
I've never heard anyone say that.
I'm mixed with some freaky people.
You do. I can't think of any. Oh, I'm so bad under pressure.
Espresso.
No.
There's something, I know there was a word whenever I lived in England. There was a word like that was just overly used in the worst context. And this story's going nowhere because I actually forget the word.
Cool.
Back to Beltane.
That was a good waste of 3 to 4 minutes of everyone's life.
Hold on a minute. I'm gonna sit here and think. You talk.
Basically, Beltane, it was everywhere. Like the Romans, the Celts. Mm-hmm. I swear I saw something about it in Vikings as well when we were watching that. But I mean, it makes sense because a lot of these places are coming out of winter and it's springtime, and you know the abundance of the earth is everywhere. Mm-hmm. So I guess it makes sense that it was such a big deal. Yeah, it was everyone's lifeline, you know, and it's like also love and fertility and all that stuff. So everyone's going to get involved, really.
Yeah.
But I looked back to see how people, like some of the traditions that they used to do that are still carried out to this day. And so one of them was we're in Celtic terrain at the moment. So I would expect some like memory from you about what they used to do in Ireland.
Okay.
But basically Beltane was a pre-Christian Celtic festival. And Beltane was celebrated at the midpoint of the Celtic year and the beginning of summer. So very similar to what we do now. And they really embraced the fact that they knew that there was like a darker half of the year, which was the Samhain aspect, and a lighter half of the year, which was the Beltane. So the darker, again, death was very much the symbol of it. And that was typically when they would slaughter all their cattle and all that. Where Beltane was when the cattle was led to the open summer pastures to graze. So
that's nice.
It's a nicer time of the year for the cows.
Before they did.
So in Ireland, this is how they say... So that's how they would spell Beltane. That one or that one. So how would you pronounce that?
Beltane.
You would just say Beltane?
Yeah.
I thought you used to say it in a different way. Like, I swear I have a memory of you talking about Beltane.
You're thinking of Lunasa. Because people say Lunasa.
No, like Beltania or something.
No. So Bel, like as in Beal. Is that one word?
Yeah, one word.
Right, so that means mouth in Gaelic.
Well, it actually translates to bright fire. I don't know what.
Because Beal, Belfirsta is Belfast. Bel, Beal is mouth, and Firsta is farset.
Did they spell Belfast Beal?
In Gaelic, it's Beal, Feirste. So Belfirsta. And the Firsta is farset, which is the river, and mouth is Bel, because Belfast sits at the mouth of the Farset River.
Interesting.
So that's what it's called that. So that's
they're also saying that it translates to bright fire. So I don't know if this is like ancient Celt
I don't know.
Or something. But in connection with that, one of the big things of Beltane is a bonfire.
Yeah.
And you have probably heard in festivals all around the world, they have these huge bonfires to celebrate. And so there were a whole like range of different things that they would do. But one of them, which I swear I've seen this on something. I think it must have been Vikings or something, which is why I automatically had that like Norse connection, is that they used to have 2 bonfires next to each other, and they used to bring the cattle through the middle of them because they believed that the 2 fires represented health and protection. And so when they brought the cattle through the middle of the fire, it was like kind of blessing them and protecting them for the year ahead.
That's nice.
Which is really nice. And Beltane fires were considered to have magical properties. So the smoke, the embers, the flames, and the ash was all said to grant you good health and protection. And so they would actually sprinkle the ash over all the crops to ensure that the crops would be abundant and
Isn't that nice?
filled with nutritious goodness.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah. I think it's really nice. And I also felt like it removed like baneful energy as well. So I guess it's like dancing around the bonfire as well would have kind of like a cleansed everybody. That would have been
the reason
fun.
Whenever you said that they walked the cattle through between the 2, I thought, well, that if they had any bugs on them, maybe the bugs would die from the heat.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what I
like
thought as
well. Like ticks and stuff.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
So another big thing that they used to do and people still do to this day is the maypole. So the maypole is a very phallic symbol. And basically the idea is, oh my gosh, something was touching my foot, but I think it was a cord. You never know. In the hills, it could be a cord, or it could be a tarantula.
It could be a massive cockroach.
So they would decorate the maypoles with like flowers and leaves and all this growth. So it kind of like symbolized the new fertile energy that was around them at that time. And everyone would dance around it to invite in the growth, fertility, and the springtime blessings. There was also people who basically like the single women of the village would dance around the maypole to like say to the men, yo, like that was like their Tinder.
Which is where strippers came from.
Is it?
I thought you would have immediately gone, Patty, no, that's not true at all.
No, but they dance. Some of them dance around a pole. Is that where it came from?
Makes sense. No, I just made that up. I could be right.
You could be right.
I could have just stumbled across something.
A really interesting historical fact that we didn't make that connection with.
Right, okay, sorry. So the single ladies dance around a pole.
They'll dance around the maypole
and they're
to
all
be like, hey dudes.
Hey dudes.
Yeah.
You wanna see me dance around the pole?
So hand fasting.
It's very phallic.
Hand fasting is also connected with Beltane, that's what we're talking about. And so I remember hearing this story where people, like what they used to do is you dance around the maypole, you would get paired up with somebody, and then you would be hand fasted. And I think some of these people basically just met. And they
have a boozy night. It's like a Vegas
much.
kind of like.
What they would do is they would be hand fasted, and they would then like be ushered away to like a cabin or a yurt or whatever it was they lived in at the time.
A yurt.
Yurt. And they would stay there for a month, and people would bring them food and whatever because they had like a month to kind of come together and decide whether or not like they were going to be together. And then after the month, it was like, yes, we want to stay hand fasted, or no, we're actually hate each other so much. I'm going to murder this person.
Imagine someone was like, here, Mick, you do this every year. And he's just like, I'm just in it for the sex.
I'm just a big player.
So they're just bringing them food and Gatorade?
Pretty much. Pretty much. Like they didn't expect them to contribute to society in any way.
It's like maths. It's like Married at First Sight. They just shove them in, but there's no challenges.
But no drama
But
that we're aware of.
How's that though? Like, imagine you knock the door and you go, "Hey guys, just bring me a few more sandwiches," and then you look in and like they're both just like, "All right."
It's the worst.
And they're like, "Do we have to do it?" And they're like, "You need to do the month," and they're like.
Because you'd be going, oh, I really hope I get paired up with like the hot, like Celtic dude, like the Jamie Fraser of the clan.
No, I'd love to get teed up with him. that we could make sandwiches. But could you imagine like sticking your head and going, "You're right in there," and they're like, I'm alright. What sort of sandwich? They're just egg. Could you not have put ham or what about steak? The cows are out in the field enjoying the sun. We're not slaughtering them till
they've got a few
next year.
Left.
Jeepers. What's in just eggs?
I know. So
is there any mayonnaise? What is mayonnaise?
Like what they used
we
to
haven't
do.
Invented that yet.
But people still traditionally now will, like, especially pagan people will get hand fasted, like, but in a more like wedding ceremony way now.
We did.
It was kind of near Beltane too, wasn't it? Yeah. Kind of on like a month.
We're on the 1st of October, our wedding anniversary. We hand fasted.
We did. It was. I think hand fasting is beautiful. If you don't know what it is, basically. Hand fast. Well, what we did is we picked how many colors.
We took a lot. Because so you take colours and textures and types of fabric that...
The colours that represent different properties and
like
aspects.
Love and respect and blah, 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 blah.
Loyalty
blah.
and...
Egg sandwiches. And
whatever.
You weave them into a
plait.
Aye. Mm-hmm. Aye. And then what happens is during the ceremony you hold together. Hands and then they do this sort of knot around it, and then whenever you pull your hands away it forms a knot that you guys have think, and then you've got your knot, your hand fastened knot, and ours is framed up there.
It was nice.
On the wall. Actually, maybe you should put a photo of it up.
I will. I'll put one on my Instagram.
And that sits atop the fireplace. We're gonna blur out the vows, though.
Yeah.
There's some stuff in there that made me cry.
I know.
But yeah.
Paddy cried so much at our wedding. Mm-hmm. I didn't cry at all. Paddy.
Because you're stone cold.
I ice cold heart. Paddy cried a lot.
I cried a lot, and
he tried to kiss me as soon as I walked. Out.
That's because I really fancy it.
Bless.
I'm not afraid to admit that I cried. I don't care. I cried my eyes out. I could hardly get through my vows.
Like,
I was going.
What did you say? What was that last?
I'm fine with that.
But yeah, I think hand fasting is a really nice tradition.
It's beautiful.
And also people would like jump over the Beltane fire and stuff. I think it was to like cleanse them of their previous, I don't know, what, sins, relationships, whatever. Right. So they're like basically starting fresh together, and
that's nice.
Yeah, I think it's really nice.
There's good symbolism in it.
So that's like a lot of stuff that they used to do back in the day that they would typically do now, but probably a little bit differently.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, do you remember anything when you're in Ireland?
The maypole really...
Do you remember them celebrating?
That was May Day, wasn't it?
May Day, yes. Another name for it is May Day.
I remember that. We had that.
What was that celebrating?
I think we had a day off. And then everyone went in a tent together for a month.
Everyone? It was a different religion.
Is that an all boys school as well? No. Can I cut that bit out? May Day I remember, but to be honest, like, you know, don't forget, I went to... There was something about the maidens dancing around the maypole. I remember that. The maidens dancing around the maypole. But, like, you know, I went to a Christian Brothers grammar school, and I grew up in a very Catholic house in a very Catholic area. So
because there's not really like
it wouldn't have been like, well, the pagans did this.
A Christian version of Beltane.
As far as I know, I don't remember it. You know what? I'm gonna look it up.
Well, that's cheating.
Yep.
You're meant to be like, oh yes, of course, I'm full of knowledge on this area.
Yeah.
But no.
Okay. Labor Day.
Really, that's what they turned into Labor Day.
It's a spring festival that commemorates fertility, blossoming of fruit and flowers.
That's literally Beltane, yes.
Yeah.
Interesting. Beltane's better. It has more magic in it.
The May Queen and the May King.
Yeah, they would use. So yeah, usually Beltane's celebrations. Like I know, there's all these huge Beltane festivals around the world that I am dying to go to, but one of them is in Glastonbury, and they have a Beltane like king and queen, and I've seen photos of them. They always look like the most magical people. Like the king's got horns, and they're always like covered in leaves, and it looks so cool. I would love to go. I want to be the Beltane queen. You can be the king, obviously.
You're my Beltane queen.
But that's on my bucket list, actually, to do a Beltane festival, fire festival.
Go to the one in Scotland.
Yeah, the one in Scotland's meant to be really cool too.
So it does say it's a Celtic tradition, but it also says that it is a time to campaign for workers' rights.
That's not as fun.
It's not. Schools and businesses are closed. Like, I remember getting a day off for it. Definitely.
Well, when you're a kid, you don't care, do you? You just go, hell yeah.
Nah, you just love a day off.
Day off. When you're a kid, or if you're an Australian.
Australians love a day off.
Any event
Horse
you
race,
go,
I'll have a day off.
do we get a day off for that? Like, the fact that we have a day off for a football parade that wasn't on for like 2 years because of lockdown, but we still had the day off. It's like, all right. That's fun.
I love it's like the Queen died and Australians go, all right, and they go, day off, and they go, brilliant.
I know. And it wasn't even like, I thought it was, anyway. I thought it was going to be when her funeral was. It was like the week before.
Yeah, it was just kind of like everyone had a day off to mourn.
Yeah, it was very strange. Anyway.
I saw a TikTok of a guy going, hey, how you going? Yeah, look, I can't, I'm not coming in tomorrow, obviously, because, you know, I'm in mourning. And they're like, he goes, yeah, I think I might need the next day off as well. Because
we about the Queen.
We had our the day off on the Thursday, so the next day was obviously the Friday. He goes, yeah, just I'm not really coping with it. I think I might have to have the next day off as well. And it's like, that's such an Australian thing to do, because like next Tuesday was it? We've got Melbourne Cup coming up.
So we have Poppy has Friday off because it's I don't know.
But that's something that's different. But
then we have Monday. Then Tuesday is Melbourne Cup, but basically we've just given up on Monday and gone to.
They go, well, school's optional, and you're like, hold on a minute, it's not even a public holiday.
You know they can go in. Yeah, but
it's like work. You just expect nobody's going to come in on a Monday because they're like, but we have Tuesday off, and you go, yeah,
fair enough.
And they go, so we have to come in Monday as well, and you're like, you have Tuesday off. Yeah,
but Monday.
So Monday's still a day of the week.
Because like Monday, like what are we gonna get done? Like not much.
Like I'm gonna come in and then I'm gonna have to go home because I got the next day off.
No, it's just this whole thing. It's better that let's just clear the week. This week doesn't count. But then you get into Christmas territory and you go, I have no idea what day it is anymore. I have that like week between Christmas and New Year. It's like nothing. Time.
You're literally just floating in space.
You're in like the quantum realm.
You just exist. You just are, but you don't do, and it's just a very strange place to be.
What day is it? It is today.
I don't know. It's leftover day. Another Turkish sandwich, anyone? What day is it? Gravy. What? Have another drink. What day?
What time is it? 10:30. Bottoms up.
Bottoms up. But what day is it? It's
the day that is today, but not tomorrow or yesterday.
It's to yesterday. What's the what?
Wasn't there a meme? It was like tomorrow or something.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's Neither here nor there, but it is exactly where it needs to be.
Mm-hmm.
It's literally leftover week. That's what it is. It's leftover week.
Anyway.
Beltane.
As I was saying before, during this time, the veil is once again thin. So, as we said, the north is going into Samhain, we're going into Beltane, and so we're at that equal field again where the veil between all our worlds is at its thinnest. But I do feel like with Samhain, it is more of a people veil, I guess, like ancestors, spirits, they're said to wander around. But Beltane, because the energy of nature is so strong, I really feel like the elemental energy is at its peak. So when you are connecting, usually you'll find that it is more of like your elemental energies that come through. So we're talking things like fairies. It is the time for fairies at Beltane, which is probably one of the reasons why I love it so much.
Yeah.
Because fairies are awesome. So, Fae magic is strongly recommended.
Fairies are awesome.
Fairies are awesome. Fae magic is strongly recommended at this time. And if you don't work with them, now is a really good time to connect with them. They do come with a big warning sign because fairies can be a little bit naughty.
Yeah.
And they're not an energy that you want to connect with lightly. If you listen to my last episode, I think it was my last one, it was all about working with the Fae. And you should just, stop it, go and listen to it now and come back.
Yeah. Hold on. Welcome back.
Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that last episode.
Hope you enjoyed that. Do you remember that bit where you were like,
that was very important. Working with them now, if you are interested in doing it, now is a really good time because I feel like it's easier to kind of connect in with their energy. And when I say fairy, that's kind of like the umbrella term.
Again, you've heard the podcast.
As you just listened to.
Exactly what Amy's talking about.
So now I guess is a time for you to connect back in with that intuition and go like, what kind of elemental energy am I really vibing with? Are you a water person? Are you more fire, earth, air? What is it? Because that will kind of determine what kind of Fae energy you want to connect with. So for example, if you were really wanting to do a lot of earth magic, you would work with dryads because they are very trees, like they said, to live in the trees. They wander through the forests, like very earth magic. But if you're a water person, you'd be like, well, I'm going to go hang out with the mermaids. So yeah, I guess if it's a good exercise is to really tap in and go, what is the element that's calling out to me the most? And that's a good starting place for your Fae magic. Nice. Yeah. And as I said in the last one, there's a whole bunch of ways that you can do that. So that's meditation is a good one because that will really tell you who's trying to connect, and you'll kind of get that intuitive pull towards something. But then you can use oracle cards, you can do runes, you can...
Can it also just be how you feel?
Exactly, how you feel.
What are you feeling?
Very earth at the moment. I feel like my water side, because I do love water. Yeah. I feel like that the more we go into summer, the more I'm really drawn into that. But for me at the moment, I'm super drawn to earth. I don't know why. I just all I want to do is go outside and walk around barefoot.
Yeah, right.
What about you?
Yeah, I'd say earthy as well, and I think it's because it's been a fairly long winter. Yeah. And being outside is lovely, and I've just got like I said, I've said this before, I've got a thing with trees.
Yeah, you do.
I like them, but I tend to agree, water during summer, because you almost want that relief from the heat. Yeah.
I tend not to like be too drawn to fire. I think because I have so much fire in my chart as it is, that I feel like I am enough fire for myself.
You are. you like really are.
I'm a Leo sun and a Leo moon, so I can be a little bit fiery.
Yes, you can.
At times.
And I am starting my own podcast where I go into detail about that side of Amy that nobody knows about.
What's it called?
It's called...
Help me.
It's called Habitual.
You should work on that.
I'm going to work on the title, but you know what? You better watch out for it.
But yes, definitely connecting with the Fae right now. That's like, that's what I'm going to be doing. I've already started. Like they have their own oracle deck. And, yeah, it's pretty cool. I love working with them. Except when they're cheeky. It's a bit annoying.
They're cheeky.
Like my office is like basically like a fairy playground, and I'm forever going like, where's the glitter gone? Where's this crystal gone? Why can't I find this? And then like 2 weeks later when I don't need it, I'm like, oh, here they are.
Right in front of me.
Right in front of me.
Time.
It's very frustrating, but that's fine.
The
it's raining again.
It's been fairly raining all day, but
now it's raining. Do we need to move the car again?
I'm going to check the radar after we're finished.
So let's quickly jump into our Beltane correspondences.
Yep.
They are ways that you can connect with Beltane even more.
Right after this.
So first things first is, what can you do to decorate your altar? You can put a cauldron, because a cauldron represents the goddess and the womb, and then a maypole, which represents the god. So having both of their energies is a good, nice balance as well.
Nice.
Your masculine and feminine energy. Lots of flowers, lots of greenery, fairies, mushrooms, butterflies, antlers. Basically what my altar looks like all the time.
Awesome.
The colours of Beltane are dark green, red, pink, white, yellow, rainbow, blue, and pastels. Rainbow is kind of a cheat, though, isn't it? It's like all of them.
Yeah.
All the colours.
What colours do you like?
Except
I like blue.
the ugly colours.
I like green and rainbow. What?
Brown, grey, black, white. All the shades. The food. The food is the most important part to me. Food is things like red fruit.
Oh, yeah.
Fresh herbs.
Yum. Dill.
Salad. Yeah, dill. Basil.
Ooh.
Salad.
Nice.
Red or pink wine.
Oh, yeah.
Would be nice for some. I would love a Moscato.
Bit of rosé all day.
Fruit punch. Oatmeal.
Oatmeal.
Also known as porridge for us, right?
Porridge.
Dairy, honey, sweets, nuts, seeds, strawberries, and grapes.
Yum.
All the good things. What are we making for Beltane? I was gonna make it's such a hard word to say. Tzatziki dip. Tzatziki.
Tzatziki.
Because that incorporates your dairy. Then you've got like fresh cucumber, dill. Like it's so fresh and yummy.
There's some chavs
with
in
some like Turkish bread.
Yum.
Yep. And then like some kind of
nicely
sweets.
like sort of toasted Turkish bread with like
olive
the way
oil.
I did it the other day. Yeah, with the olive oil. Oh yeah. And like charred.
Yeah.
On the griddle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
yeah.
probably some like kind of fruit berry dessert.
And we should do the salad with that maple vinaigrette thing.
Oh yeah. We went to our friend's house and she made us this salad. And it was like literally the most basic salad. I say that in the nicest way. The most basic salad, because it was like iceberg, lettuce.
Feta.
No, goat cheese.
Sorry.
And this vinaigrette that she made with like maple syrup.
Maple syrup.
Which sounds weird for a salad, but it was so good.
What was it? Maple syrup? Was it white wine?
Olive oil.
Was there white wine vinegar in there?
Balsamic, I think.
Ah, balsamic vinegar. Yeah. And then
Sorry.
that's to break up the syrup. Yeah.
It was so good.
No, you're right.
I'm sick, so...
No, you did really fine. My brain just didn't kick into gear. Yeah, right. And it was fucking so good.
It was so good. So just like lots of fresh things.
And we were like, what's this fancy thing? And she's like, it's literally nothing. And we're like, what is it? It's so good. She's like, Simples. You guys are getting a little bit excited over something that I did not care about whenever I made it.
We like discovering things. So the herbs and incense you can use. Oh gosh, I nearly fell off my bouncy ball. Are almond, angelica, ash trees, blueberries, daisies, which I love. I love daisies.
You do.
Frankincense, hawthorn. Hawthorn is said to call in the fae. Just FYI.
All right.
Lilacs, marigolds, our dog's favourite to eat. Norman which is so annoying.
Marigolds.
Loves a good marigold. Meadowsweet, primrose, roses, daffodils, cinnamon, thistle, and vanilla.
Majorum.
Majorum. Isn't that the same as a marigold?
Majorum.
Yeah. I think they are. That's why I didn't say it. I'm pretty sure they are.
So there's two things Norman likes.
So what crystals can we buy? What crystals can we go and buy?
What crystals can we buy?
Emeralds, orange calcite, carnelian, which I love. Sapphire, rose quartz, also another one that I love.
My favorite, lapis lazuli.
The one that makes me crazy. Malachite, sunstone, clear quartz, bloodstone, citrine, golden tiger's eye, amber, and topaz. And I just want to throw in a moss agate as well. You know the white one that has like the green veins? It's one of my faves.
Hasn't it's got like wee burst of gold in there as well?
Yeah, I think ours do.
Yeah.
But they're so like earthy and very grounding.
It almost looks like a shot from space.
Yeah.
Looking down at forests and rivers and things like that. It's pretty awesome.
So animals. You've got your honeybees. Now is a time for bees and butterflies, so you'll notice that. Lambs, deer, calves, doves, frogs, goats, rabbits, and swans. Aww. And then what can you do? What can you do to celebrate Beltane?
What are some activities?
What are some activities that you can do?
What are the activities you can do during Beltane? You can do love.
You can do love.
You can do romance.
You should read about that.
You can.
It's like on Bluey. It's not very romantic.
I'm sorry.
I'm just joking. Patty is very romantic.
Thank you. You can do fertility magic.
You can. We don't need to do that. That's been done and is as bubbling as we speak.
You can do fae magic.
Oh, you reading this?
You can do offerings to elementals.
If you want to know about offerings, you should listen to my last episode.
Yes. You can do crop blessings.
So for us, that would be like if you've planted seeds and they're growing.
And your veggie patch.
Yes, for your veggie patch. For fruit trees.
Your
herb garden.
Herb garden.
Leaf flowers. Leaving offerings for the nature spirits to bless them and help them grow, which works like a charm. Trust me, we always do that, and they always go. Boom.
We need to do that for the spuds.
We do. We planted potatoes.
We planted about. I wonder how they're going after last night.
Oh, they're probably.
Oh no.
Potatoes can outlive all of us, though.
Jeepers creepers.
We should go and check on them.
You could do divination.
So divination is good because the veil is thin, which means our intuitive vibes are strong. So doing things like I said before, like tarot, oracle cards, runes, all of that, you're more likely to get a stronger, clearer message.
Right.
With divination now.
You can honor house spirits.
Again, because the veil is thin, your house spirits are basically the energy that resides in your house. So in terms of fae, there are things like brownies. Brownies are fairies that are said to live in the home, protect the home, clean, very dobby vibes.
We're not talking about brownies that go around door to door selling biscuits for the scouts.
Or the delicious slice.
The delicious slice.
No, it's a fairy.
They're dobbies.
They're little dobbies. So you can leave them little offerings, say not thank you, but that you're grateful for their work and what they do for the house. You should never thank fairy, but you can show gratitude.
Never think.
You can
make a giant bonfire in your neighbour's back garden. No, don't. You can light a bonfire. Now, obviously, I was around some very large bonfires when I lived in Ireland.
That's for a different reason, though.
Quite large. There were bonfires all day. Quite large. You know, light a wee one.
Let the CFA know.
Alright, just light a wee one out the back. Controlled. Watering can or a hose nearby.
Also, if it's a fire ban, don't do it.
Don't do it. Be very safe.
I don't think we'll be having a fire ban around here for a while.
No, the ground is very wet. You can go picking flowers. Sorry, picking flowers. You can pick some flowers.
Oh my God, when you say it like in an Irish accent and then an Aussie accent, it makes me go, oh, the Aussie accent is so ugly sometimes. You can pick flowers.
You can pick flowers.
Say it in an Irish accent.
Picking flowers.
Picking flowers.
Flowers. Flowers.
Oh, God.
There are some people that correct themselves and say flowers, but I find it odd.
That's very newscaster.
I was going to say that's what newsreaders would say. He was found picking flowers. He was caught picking flowers from a graveyard. Patrick Harvey, UTV News.
And then you have us going, and then he was out picking flowers.
Also, what I love about the news in Australia is that the word bash is, you know, obviously it's not funny when people get bashed, but they go, a 97-year-old man was bashed in the face. And I'm like, oh my God, who's bashing? It's like, it's such
You can say beaten.
You can say he was assaulted.
I know, bashed.
Bashed? It sounds like something a 12-year-old goes, are you bashing me? Anyway,
we were talking about that the other day, and I was like, about like how you were disagreeing with something, and it was like you would be like no, and then you get an Aussie go nah.
You what?
Remember we were talking about that, how like an Aussie compared to anyone else, it's like they just answer a question and go nah,
mate, yeah, nah.
And last but not least,
also Australians go no. No.
There's about 7 layers to that word.
No. You can go on also nature walks.
Or nature waddles, if you're
and you can go on nature waddles.
Like a little duck. Like in you know, in the Aristocats with the geese, like dun 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 dun. That's me.
That's right. I like ducks.
Yeah. But that's Beltane.
That's nice.
It's nice. I love Beltane. It makes me happy.
And I like the animals as well in this one. Honeybees and lambs and goats and rabbits.
We need them all.
We love them. There's ducks walk around here, and
that's Paddy's spirit animal.
As a pair, and there was only one of them today, and I don't know where his friend is.
I know.
And I'm a bit concerned.
I'm going for a walk tomorrow, so I'll have a look.
See, Mother Nature is very beautiful, but also like
she can be brutal when she wants to be.
Taking things away like that.
I know, that would be really sad because they walk together every day.
All the time. There's a mummy and her husband. I presume it's her husband. It could be her sister who's helping look after.
Because the dad's waddled off,
looking after the kids.
Some floozy.
She's got about seven ducklings with her.
They're okay.
Yeah. I know. But she was sitting there on them in the middle of the street, and I drove up and was like, I'm very sorry, you're going to have to move.
I have never met anyone who has rescued ducks more than you. Like, I would say you have rescued ducks and escorted them across the road about 12 times. Like, the amount of times you call me and say, I'm just with some ducks. And now I don't even, like, I'm like, oh, yeah.
The pity about the whole thing is that I am yet to snuggle one.
I know.
And I would like to, but I'm also afraid to approach wild ones and ones with their babies.
Yeah, because the mum just leaves them.
Yeah. I was speaking to someone the other day where they said that a mummy duck and her kids were at the side of something, and the baby duck fell down a ledge. And so him and a few other people got together and went, well, let's go get this duckling. And as they were rescuing the duckling, they look up and the mummy duck is on her way down a ramp to where they all were with the other ducklings behind her, and they're like, no, go away, you're all gonna get stuck. And she's like,
bless. They're so sweet.
She's like, right, we're gonna have to go down there and get them ourselves.
Remember that time, I probably told this story, but I'll say it again. When I was a vet nurse, there was one day I was sitting in the front desk and I was watching on the camera, this mother duck was walking down a main road, like a big busy road, with her ducklings, and they walked into the vet car park and were just hanging out. I'm like, how did you know that we would help you? And then we had to like go out and get them in the car park and bring them in, and I'm like, I mean, well done for picking the right building, but what the hell are you doing here? We're not even near a pond. It was the most bizarre thing.
Imagine she was down and she goes, no, left here, kids. And she goes, there used to be a pond here.
Yeah.
I swear there used to be a pond here.
It was just so weird. I'm like, how did you know that we would help you?
Yeah.
It was very bizarre.
She followed her nose.
Sure.
Toward the smell of animals.
Yeah, maybe. She didn't. Well, she shouldn't have, because there were cats, and cats, they love ducks or dogs.
Yeah, they do. That's right.
Anyway, that was a long thing about ducks.
That's all right. We do like to do. I actually am still trying to think of this word that people in England overuse. It was very unnecessary.
Is this going back to the very beginning?
Yeah. Yeah, we like to go full circle. It was kind of like...
It's gone. It's not happening.
It's kind of like, like an obviously or like literally or one of those words, but they just use it in every sentence and you are completely out of context. Completely out of context.
If you have an annoying word that people say, send it to us so we can agree with you.
Yeah.
You know those words? We can't think of any of them. Nope. But there are words that people say that you go, that's not how you say it.
I'm more about when people pronounce prosciutto with an Italian accent. When they'll say a full sentence, when they'll go, so what I'm going to do is just going to get some pasta here, and then I'm going to put it in the water, and in this pot, I'm going to put in some onion and some prosciutto and you're like...
That's one of our biggest pet peeves.
Sorry, go back again. And then on top of this pasta, we're just gonna sprinkle some parmigiana. I was like, what are you doing? Then a mate of mine does say, oh yeah, just at home on the weekend watching the Tour de France. And I'm like, what are you doing? Why? Because it's like what it was called. I'm like, it's called the Tour de France.
French,
then again, there's nothing right. Yeah, just watching the Tour de France. Like it's not, but he's like the Tour de France. I'm like, mate, there's no need for that. That is unnecessary effort.
You're not like quickly French. You either are or you're not.
Prosciutto is prosciutto.
It's prosciutto. Embrace the...
It's not like Italians will be like, I'm going to go and order a spring roll and some dimmies for my dinner.
They might.
Like, they're not going to go, I like to eat.
What are you doing? What's up with the hand?
I'm trying to keep it Italian.
Italian? Just
yeah, they do.
Like that.
They go talk about their mama, and the mama like dim sims.
And meat pies.
That's not how it works. Just keep it the way you speak.
Speak the way you speak. Anyway.
That is a lesson for all of you out there.
Just speak the way you speak.
Just talk the way you talk and speak the way you speak. I am a bit of an exception to that.
You have about 14 personalities going on in there, though.
I don't just go, oh yeah, I'm just going to go down and get potato cake. If I'm telling a story or if I'm referring to someone, I'll do a voice. But so if someone was like, yeah, so he was over there and he was making some pasta and he put in some garlic and onion, and then he started saying, I'm putting prosciutto in there with a bit of this and a bit of that. You'd be like, oh, that makes perfect sense. But you can't just slip in an accent halfway through a sentence.
It's not a one word thing. It's a, you speak.
Or you go, are you Italian? They go, nah.
We've had many conversations about this together. We both, like, if someone does that, we can both sense the other person, like, going,
I just shrivel up.
why did you do that?
It's just crazy.
I am judging you. Harshly and strongly, and we will discuss it later.
I will discuss this with. I will talk about this later. And I will talk about you on a podcast. I will talk about you on a podcast, Parmigiana.
Carbonara.
Would you turn around and go, oh yeah, I just got over and got some fromage? No, you'd say.
We do.
No.
When we were in France, we did.
But would you be in an Italian restaurant and go, I'll get the quattro formaggi? Or would you go, I'll get the 4 cheese pizza? Or would you go croissant? Or would you say get a croissant?
I would get a croissant. Oh, sorry.
But there are people who say croissant.
I know.
Hi, can I get 4 croissants, please?
I know.
And some two cafe lattes. I actually heard someone, I didn't hear that years ago. Someone goes, oh, Deb, do you want a coffee? And she goes, oh, yeah, I think I might just get a cafe latte.
Stop.
And I went,
stop it, I hate it.
It's like, hold on a minute. Deb, what happened to your voice? I just think I might get a cafe latte.
It's like what's it called when there's like a glitch in the Matrix?
Because I like when a person with like a really broad Australian accent goes, I'll just get a latte, mate.
Yeah.
Just give us a couple of lattes.
Double D latte.
Just give us a double latte, mate. Extra strong latte.
They're embracing who they are.
Oh, I know. I've got another one. A cup of chino.
Who says that?
Oh, I've heard a bajillion people say that. Get 2
cup of chino.
Cup of chino.
Oh, stop. Stop it.
My ma's got some corkers though. Like guacamole is called Guatemala. Potato wedges is called wedgies. Justin Bieber is Justin Beaver. Her favorite actress is Meryl Streep. But I think it's a hereditary thing because my granda, whenever he retired, started working at a furniture shop, and he would talk about these beds that were made out of the most beautiful mahogany. For those of you who don't know your wood, it's a beautiful mahogany. So yeah, maybe it's a hereditary thing.
Could be your next then.
Anyway, I'm gonna go and schlep in my bed. It's the first thing I can think of.
Well, thank you for joining me.
No worries. Might go get a glass of water.
What?
A glass of water.
What is that?
Like a glass of water.
You make up words.
It's a glass of water.
Anyway.
It's been a week. It's only Wednesday.
It is only Wednesday, but that's fine. But I hope everybody has a beautiful Beltane. And I'm excited for it because it's a public holiday. So you can actually spend the time doing something for it on a Tuesday. So, yeah. That's it.
Sorry for the confusion in this episode, but for the nuggets that Amy provided, I hope they were valuable. We will be back better than ever soon-ish. Very soon. And that's all. That's all. Thank you so much for having me, Amy. Thank you for being here. And it was really lovely to meet you. And all of you guys out there, just take care of yourselves. Yes, stay safe. And be fae-like. For Beltane. Do that. Lots of love. Peace out. Bye. Love you.